everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, January 30th, 2022. Victor wouldn't sell Newman Media to Newman Luck, so Victoria decided to sue for the name rights. And Victor says, you know what, on second thought, I changed my mind. Maybe I will just sell the company to Victoria. Why not? What's in a name? A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Forget that, Shakespeare. Victor Newman created the name Newman, and then he built that company from the ground up, and his long-term plan, I am assuming, surely, is to restore it all back to Newman Enterprises, where it belongs, if you ask me. And also, giving us a whole lot of messy drama in the meantime. I mean, come on. Victor Newman loves the drama as much as we do. That's what it's really about. Selling Newman Media to Victoria only gives Victoria the illusion of more power. It sets Victoria at ease while Victor bides his time, waiting to make his next move with Michael right there by his side. I like it. I approve. Unfortunately for Adam, it means taking a step down. It means that Victoria would now become his boss, and Victoria is all too happy to rub that in Adam's face immediately. I mean, already, the papers haven't even been signed, and Victoria is already butting into Adam's office to try to exert her perceived power. It is only a perceived power. And it's only going to work if Adam agrees to play along. Nick reminded Adam this week that he does have a choice. He doesn't have to work for Victor or for Victoria. Adam can set out on his own, maybe find a different purpose, which might not be a bad option for him, albeit less entertaining. If Adam does stay at Newman Media with the provision that he will remain the CEO of that division, it's going to be a step down for Adam, but it's going to be a step up for the viewers. Think about it. Rejoice in it. This move brings all the Newman family together under one skyscraper. Struggling to get along or not. Preferably not. I mean, the fact that Victoria and Adam will be smugly eyeballing each other's throats day in and day out with, Nikki right in the middle of the two of them. That is going to be funny and aggravating and all kinds of soapy. That's why I'm for it. Now, if I weren't for that as the bigger picture, I would totally be mad at Victor for making this move. Adam has done nothing to deserve Victor's loss of trust here, and he's certainly done nothing to deserve a punishment, whereas Victoria does not deserve the reward. But in this case, I just really think this is a slam dunk move by the show. I think it's a great way for the writers to bring us more story, and from Victor's perspective, I'm going to choose to rationalize that he's doing this because A, he wants to avoid a war between Victoria and Adam wherein Victoria takes Newman Media by force. And B, I'm kind of hoping that Victor is doing this because he does still trust Adam, and he's wanting to put Adam on the inside of this merged company to keep an eye on Ashland. Ashland is the target. Ashland is the one who we have been seeing making, secret phone calls, and he's scheduling meetings specifically without Victoria. It's Ashland who we have seen growing increasingly, shall we say, restless. He's going to have it coming to him. Ashland is kind of wanting to get into the decision making at the company, even though he has no title, he has no real power, and at this point he's kind of just relegated to being Victoria's sofa-sex slave. Oh, but we know the Loch Ness Monster wants more. He wants more. Ashland is going to, in fact, need some allies because Victor is coming for him, and Victoria is not going to be able to protect him. Next week, Ashland is trying to recruit an ally by offering a job to Nate. Yes, yes, yes. More consolidation. I say bring on as many characters into one company as possible and just let them duke it out for my entertainment. Billy and Lily are going to need some more employees working at Chancellor Industries because they're kind of on an island on their own right now. I mean, we're seeing Lily succeeding at CEOing, and that's awesome, but there's not much story for us there yet to sink our teeth into. And, what will Billy do now that he can only sling verbal arrows at Adam? He has put his overt revenge plan to bed. He's decided to pass that torch to Victoria, I suppose. So now all Billy has left to do is just kind of sit back, pat himself on the back about his reformation. Oh, yes. That's lasted a couple of days so far. It's pretty good. He's seen the light again. He's turned his life around again. He will never seek revenge on Adam again until maybe a month from now. But for now, he's changed. He's totally changed. Oh, yeah. It's kind of rich coming from Billy, especially when he's sort of scolding Victoria over it. At the same time, though, I did appreciate Billy's warning to Victoria when it comes specifically to her father. Billy told Victoria, hey, you may win the short-term battle here with Newman Media, and you may start enjoying, the short-term lording of that power over Adam, but making deals with Victor Newman always comes at a price, and you may very well lose the independence that you fought so hard for. What Adam has lost this week in job title, he has gained in credibility and likability with me. I love Adam right now, you guys. He has got so much character. I don't even care what his job is. He's got character now. I don't care what he's doing. He's got character now. His facial expressions, his hand movements, his personality. I feel like I'm getting to know Adam again. He's actually getting real dialogue. He's having these conversations with Sally about his dad. He's expressing his exhaustion over the whole Sally-Chelsea feud. And every day it feels like he's becoming so much more real to me. I feel like this is the first time I've really been able to get excited and in the mind of and become bonded to this version of Adam. Honestly, I'm liking Adam so much right now. I don't want to see him with either Chelsea or Sally. I don't think either one of them is mature enough to handle, like, the manpire that he is becoming. That's right, manpire. He is all grown up now. He's no longer teen vampire. He's becoming manpire. It's a rite of passage. also. Sorry, I still want to see him with Chloe. I want to see Adam with Chloe. I think Adam and Chloe would make a formidable pair. They would be hot and bothered, and I would be here for it. Like, at this point, Chloe seems more like the voice of reason in comparison to Chelsea and Sally. They're constantly catfighting and bickering, and it's just, ugh. And Chloe's constantly yakking at them over it. I wish Chloe would just do an end run around them both and just go for Adam. Naughty fun. What naughty fun that would be. Okay, but I know that's not where the writers are going. So, I'm kind of starting to turn a corner on Chelsea a little bit now, because I realized this week, is Chelsea turning in to Sheila Carter? There is just almost something about her dark eyes and her dark stare that seems so Sheila-ish to me. Like, maybe Chelsea is going to become the villain that I've been asking for. Because I see that stare in her eyes when she looks at Sally. And then I contrast that with how sweet and sincere she is with Ray. And then I think to myself, well, hey, maybe Chelsea is still quietly plotting some revenge on Sharon, too. I bet in Chelsea's mind, she's still thinking that Sharon is the reason she lost Adam in the first place. And I honestly feel that if we did not have Sharon and Nick on the front burner right now, I would be more open to Sharon and Adam than I was, the last couple of times that Y&R has tried it, maybe a year ago. So I'm kind of hoping that Y&R continues to have Shaddam bumping into each other, having little run-ins, at least so that we can kind of keep those lines of communication open to maybe springboard some future plots. But I also don't want to count Ray out just yet. I want to enjoy Ray and Sharon's final moments together. Before Sharon's relationship with Nick and Ray's relationship with Chelsea tears it all apart. Maybe we're finally getting somewhere, because did you see the look on Sharon's face as she watched Chelsea stroking Ray's ego again about what a good guy he is? Oh, it's so nice to have someone who will just listen to her and just accept her. Yeah, if somebody were saying those things in front of me to my husband, I might give that face too. I might look exactly like how Sharon looked. So, by the way, I don't think we really talked about this. Chelsea is selling the penthouse. She's losing the penthouse. But supposedly she's gaining a new workspace. So I was just wondering if you guys think anybody else is going to buy the penthouse? Like, or is this just Y&R explaining away the fact that we've just lost another home? Will the penthouse get reused, or is it just going away? And then also, will we ever see this fashion workspace? We were told that Chelsea and Chloe signed a lease, but we weren't told anything else, and somehow I'm just feeling skeptical about it, especially because we were told weeks and weeks ago that Amanda and Amani were supposed to be getting a new office, and that hasn't come up yet. So I'm wondering if this is all just too good to be true. The businesses are in flux right now, that's for sure. Is Adam going to keep his office that we know as the Newman Media office, or is he going to transition over into the Newman Enterprises building? I hope it's that. And then maybe we just recycle Adam's office. I don't know. Maybe New Hope takes that office. Is New Hope going to get an office? Maybe that office can become Noah's. Can you even believe that Noah made a special trip over to Newman Media to tell Adam that he was quitting Newman Media before he ever even started? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to quit before I ever even started. I mean, what smacks of this show's very abrupt directional change more than that, sure, I'll come work for you. I mean, never mind. 2 marriage proposals for the price of 1. Thank you, Mariah. Mariah also got down on one knee this week and proposed to her lady love with a big, curly, black pearl engagement ring that will get caught on everything. Did you guys see that ring? Tessa's gonna get that ring caught in her hair, caught in her clothes, caught in Mariah's hair, caught in Mariah's clothes. Now that is not an everyday piece of jewelry. I'm sorry. Never mind the stone. It is not an everyday piece of jewelry. But I did ask you guys last week if you were into non-diamond engagement rings. 56% of you said yes. You don't mind if it's an offbeat, like different kind of gemstone, and 44% of you really like the diamond. Well, it looked like Mariah had an emerald, or I don't know, jade. Fine, maybe it's jade, Gary. I don't know. Emerald, jade, I can't tell. It looked like emerald to me, but I suppose it could be jade. Well, it goes really nicely, with her hair. I will definitely give it that. Mariah had the green, and then Tessa's getting the black pearl, and I feel like I would pick the black pearl. If I had to choose, I probably would pick Tessa's ring, but I would pick the pearl in a different setting. A pearl is going to set so high, it's going to be difficult to function with it on. Now, I also find it difficult to believe that Mariah was able to hang up all of those starlight decorations on the Crimson Lights back patio without Sharon noticing. Come on. Sharon was at the counter talking to Tessa about the adoption process, and Mariah was back there hanging up all those lights, and Sharon didn't even notice. No. I just don't believe it. But I will pause right there and say, I think it is so very modern that Mariah and Tessa went to a seminar to explore their adoption options. I never would have thought to do that. It's probably like $500 for the workshop or something. I definitely would not want to spend the money, but I also don't know how the heck you would even know where and how to start the process. There's so many options and so many routes you could go. So at least they're working on finding the starting line for all of this. But while Sharon and Tessa were talking about it all, Mariah walks Tessa back to the back patio, gives her the engagement surprise. Sharon seemed like she genuinely had no idea what was going on. I just don't understand how Mariah could have hung up all those lights without her overzealous mother looking, but fine. It was beautiful. She did a wonderful job of setting the scene. It was kind of, though, more of a loose tie-in to their first date. Mariah and Tessa's first date was a movie night at the athletic club, and I don't know, I was so shocked by that tie-in because I couldn't believe I was hearing somebody say the words athletic club because it's been so long, and I'm trying to remember too, that movie night was on the rooftop bar of the athletic club. Is that it? There was a bar on top of the roof of the athletic club, or am I getting that confused with the dive bar? Because I think there was also something called the dive bar that was on top of the Winters Hamilton skyscraper. What about that Winters Hamilton building? Where did that go? Will Dominic be inheriting that someday? Of course, Noah walked in on the exact moment that Mariah put the ring on Tessa's finger. And he tried to skedaddle away, but Mariah pulled him in for some celebration. And Noah tried to participate. he came up with a good idea for the engagement party / album release party for Tessa, but then he made an excuse to get the heck out of there. He went to society and he started throwing back bottles of beer like it was honky-tonk time, crying in his beer like, oh, my sister is marrying my ex-girlfriend. I expected him to like bust out into a little line dance or something. Some sawdust on the floor. Maybe he should have gone to the empty glass bar. That could have been more appropriate for sulking. I guess Noah prefers to sulk in a more upscale manner at society. Oh, well, Tessa walks in, sees Noah all drunk and hangdog, and offers to call him a cab. She wants him to be okay. She doesn't want him driving home drunk or getting himself into any trouble. And he just blurts out to her, I'm okay. Why wouldn't I be okay? When you love someone, you want them to be happy. And I love my sister. And then he just sort of like gulps and walks away, leaving Tessa totally stunned. Yeah, if she didn't know how he felt before, she knows now. She knows now. And the question is, in fact, the poll question is, should Tessa tell Mariah? What do you think, you guys? Should Tessa now turn right around and tell Mariah everything? Or should she just keep this under her hat for now? Go to yrchat.com to cast your vote. Of course, my knee-jerk reaction is to say yes. Yes, of course Tessa should tell Mariah immediately. Honesty is the best policy. But what fun would that be? What fun is honesty? I mean, Noah didn't really confess anything. He didn't really ask anything of Tessa. He just sort of accidentally alluded to it. And Tessa doesn't know for sure how deep it goes. I mean, they had a follow-up, but he didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to dwell on it. He kind of just wanted to forget it and move on. So if I were standing in Tessa's shoes, I could kind of see myself thinking, well, okay, first of all, of course he still wants me. Who wouldn't? I'm Tessa Porter. I'm talented. I'm beautiful. Look at these lips. Duh. Of course he wants me. Once you've had Tessa, you can't go back. But number two, I think I would be not wanting to embarrass Noah by telling his big sister that her little brother is in love with me. Her. But also, number three, Noah told Tessa, hey, it's no big deal. Let's just forget about it. Let's move on. I don't want to dwell on it. So I could kind of see myself sticking my head in the sand on this one, not wanting to make it more weird by making a bigger deal out of it than it is. I would just be sure to wear turtlenecks to every family gathering from here to the rest of eternity. I'd be wearing turtlenecks and long denim skirts. Every Christmas and every Thanksgiving from here on out. But, I mean, if it does become a bigger deal and anything comes of it, and if Tessa never says anything to Mariah and Mariah finds out, then that could cause friction in their relationship. So it is a slippery slope. I guess maybe the thing to do would be to keep an eye on it, give Noah a chance to get it together, and if it starts becoming super uncomfortable, then I would just address it with Noah directly and just be clear that it ain't gonna happen, buddy. Wait a minute. Or is it gonna happen, buddy? You know what would have been cool? Instead of just tacking the Winters family name onto Dominic's already too long name, Y&R should have Devon and Amanda have a son and name him Winter. Wouldn't that be a cool soap opera name for Devon's next son? Winter Hamilton. I'm telling you, I am so pleased with my revelation on that. Winter Hamilton is going to be one cool dude. You got it? Winter? Cool? Yeah? That would have been the move. But instead, for now, we're just stuck with Dom. We're stuck with the Dominic albatross hanging around our necks. This kid used to be a bread loaf. Now he's like a giant hoagie bun with all the meat and lettuce and tomatoes stuffed in it. Like, that kid is almost as big as Devon. And we're seeing so much of him now. Bread loaf no more. The viewers complained for months that we didn't see a baby, and now all we're getting is baby, baby, baby. Oh. Well, Devon decides to make yet another request this week. He wants to have an overnight with Dominic right now. He can't wait another minute now. Well, I mean, why waste any more time? This is the new normal, says Abby as she packs Dominic's bag and then swallows her feelings about it all. I'm kind of doing that too. I'm just going to swallow my feelings about it all, because when Devon walked out the front door with Dominic and Dominic's little bag, I felt like Devon was walking out the front door with my daughter, and I wanted to pinch his little head off. I'm also trying to swallow my feelings about Chance too, because there's definitely some points where I have to stop myself from thinking, Chance seems a little too happy to just be passing off his fatherly duties just so he could get some alone time. I mean, if parents had a nickel for every time they wish they could just pass their kid off, they'd be, they'd have the college funds taken care of. But you don't do it. You persevere. Parenting takes grit. And I know that's not the case. I know Chance has a perspective, and I know he's working through his stuff, and it's not small stuff. The stuff that Chance is going through, it's not small. He's got a lot on his mind. He's got a lot on his soul. We learned this week that he's actually gone out of his way to donate money to the funeral funds of these military families that he worked with, and he received a very thoughtful letter from one of the military families, and this person was encouraging him to heal and encouraging him to move on, and maybe he will, but I'm still bitter. Darn it, I just wish I didn't feel like Chance kind of guilted Abby into taking action about Dominic before she was ready without really taking the time to think about it. But ultimately, at the same time, I know that's on her. Abby made this decision too. She went along with it. He didn't force her to do it. It just is all left in kind of an unsatisfying glob sitting in the bottom of my stomach. Do you think that the writers always planned to just make it look like Abby and Devon were going to have a court battle, a custody battle, and then they always were planning to just fake us out and have Abby hand over the custody? Or do you think that this sudden turn of events is a rewrite or a change of direction, as we so often seem to have? I guess the truth is, I am slowly working on coming to terms with the shared custody arrangement, and it's not because I like it or because I agree with it, because I don't. But I guess I'm trying to come to terms with it because ultimately it was Abby and Chance's decision. And I would just rather accept it than stay mad about it. So, on to better days ahead, I hope. Devon had his first successful sleepover with Devon and Amanda. But here's my question. Has Amanda ever held that baby yet? I don't think so. Frankly, I don't think she has the wardrobe for it. Amanda likes to wear silky, sophisticated blouses and a lot of white. And on sleepover night even, she was wearing white pants. Bless her heart. I cannot even imagine myself going to my closet one cold January morning, pulling out a pair of tight white pants, shimmying them up over my butt. I could not wear white on the bottom. I cannot wear white on the bottom. I foolishly tried on a pair of white capris over the summer. And I mean, I tried them on for about a millisecond. I've never put on and then taken off a pair of pants so quick. I pulled them on, I said no, and I pulled them right back off. This is not I do not have the butt and the thighs for it. It is a no. It is a no for me. But for Amanda, it is apparently a yes. I just hope that she realizes eventually that babies and white clothing don't mix, or I hope she has a really good dry cleaner on hand. Christian LeBlanc is better than ever. Better than ever. It feels like sometimes characters as they age get shuffled off to pasture, and I think that Christian LeBlanc is a really good example of someone who has really improved with age. It's no exaggeration. He is better than ever. The actor and the character. I mean, seeing Michael use his legal skills, and not even just his legal skills, his cunningness to get in there and help Victor ferret out the Newman Enterprises situation. I think that Michael adds a real artfulness to this scene and to the story overall, and seeing Michael stack up against Ashland Locke is so exciting to me too. I'm so excited to see Michael stack up against our new Ashland Locke. Ugh. I also really enjoyed watching Michael use his legal skills to argue that Phyllis should stay in Genoa City. Michael is just so grumpy in everything that he does, even when he's being sincere. He's just so grumpy. There's such a sharp edge to him, and it's so striking because no other characters talk to Phyllis like that. Phyllis dominates everyone else that she's in a scene with or that's in her life, and Michael doesn't do that. Michael kind of dominates her. It's a really unique dynamic that they have between the characters and even between the actors, because it almost seemed like Phyllis was thrown off by how big and bold and Michael's reaction was, and I just thought it was really fun to see her react to his reaction. And honestly, it was a lot of fun to watch Amanda cueing in to some of their inside comments about the schemer that Phyllis used to be, which is a side that Amanda knows nothing about of her new best friend Phyllis, who she apparently cannot bear the thought of living without. I'm not even sure why exactly Amanda was deciding to fight so hard against Phyllis, saying that this was something that she wanted, a life in Milan, working alongside Summer. I mean, sounds perfect for her. But of course, we all know that this story was a side trip given Peter Bergman's medical emergency. And I have to say, I was absolutely shocked to see him return so quickly. I was braced for another month of a workaround, because when Michelle Morgan was out with her detached retina, they had to recast the role, and it felt like it took forever. But now Jack is back, and I see absolutely no signs of his injury. He must have had a really great doctor or something, because Michelle Morgan's eye even looked a little bit light sensitive when she first got back. But I don't know, maybe Peter Bergman, maybe it was somehow a less severe case. He looks exactly the same as ever. Nope, I can't see any evidence of it whatsoever. Gee, do you think that Jack will be able to convince Phyllis, with the power of his love, to stay in Genoa City? Will he be able to convince her to stay when, like a 20-something, Phyllis was whining to Michael that even though she told Jack she was leaving, she was hoping that he'd ask her to stay? Well, that's some real maturity there, Phyllis. Real maturity coming from a woman who has taken anything and everything she wants by hook or by crook for the last 30 years. I mean, I'm so happy. It's almost nauseating. What can I say? I thought that was a very nice, sarcastic little line. It came from Noah. Tessa was saying, I hope you got some happiness in your life too. And Noah said, oh yeah, I'm so happy it's almost nauseating. Oh, you guys guessed it. It was Nancy, Sherry, Henry, Y&R Viewer 123, Michelle, T. Nicole, Daisy, Victoria, and Sherrod. Very good. Will you guys get this little snippet of a line, though? Who said this? Like a hell's angel. Just one little snippet of a line. I want to see if you caught it. Like a hell's angel. If you think you know, go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. It's comment time, starting with Ellen, who says, my probably unpopular opinions for the week. Yes, Phyllis, please take that job in Milan. Bye, girl. I really don't miss Summer and Kyle at all. And if we keep Phyllis, Summer, and Kyle in Milan permanently-ish, can we get Theo back from Paris? Pretty please. I do miss him. I miss Theo too. Gosh, that would really rock my world if we got Theo back. They made such a big mistake getting rid of him. He would have totally changed the canvas of the show. But boy, I'm kind of wishing Phyllis would stay in Milan. I heard that comment more than once this week, and boy, have I been there before. I'm just for some reason not there yet now. But as far as Summer and Kyle go, it's funny because I was thinking this about them this week too, and it just almost feels like if Y&R was going to reunite Phyllis and Jack, it really would have made more sense to keep Kyle and Summer around. I feel like the Abbott house really maybe could have used some inhabitants. Gerbeau really could have used some employees. It's just strange that Y&R would get rid of Summer and Kyle just to reunite Phyllis and Jack, but maybe that was a separate issue. I don't know. I wonder if we will ever see Summer and or Kyle again. You never know. Would you guys like that? Would you like it if Phyllis went to Milan, and or would you want her to stay? And same for Summer and Kyle. Yay or nay on Phyllis, Summer, and Kyle? Let me know this week. Well, Victoria says there was another sign of Ray's insecurities today in front of Sharon. He apologized for not seeing the signs of Noah's longing. He claimed his detective skills should have let him know what was going on. Sharon reassured him that he doesn't have to pick up on all the things the kids do. And then later, Chelsea comes over and he's all confident and cool as he talks about Connor. Sharon saw and heard how different he was with Chelsea. Remember, Ray, insecurity is not attractive. Yeah, I read that scene with Sharon and Chelsea as being Sharon feeling suspicious of Chelsea. I wonder if that's true. I wonder if she was picking up on Ray's insecurity and or if she was picking up on a little something being off with Chelsea, or maybe both. Diana said, I enjoyed seeing Sharon get jealous when she saw Ray and Chelsea sitting together at the coffee shop. Oh, Diana interpreted it as jealousy. Yeah, I think I kind of got that, a little bit of that too. Chelsea made a point of saying out loud how nice it was to have someone genuinely care for her well-being. Now Sharon is getting a little taste of her own medicine. Ray has to see and hear Sharon talk about memories she shares with Nick and their family. Now Sharon knows how Ray feels. Sharon is not doing anything wrong toward Nick. Sharon and Nick have a long history together, and Ray needs to understand that. I look forward to Ray and Chelsea's next encounter. Yeah, me too. And we are just getting so many instances of Ray feeling a little on the outside of this situation. Nick and Sharon share children. They share a family, and they also share this very long history. And that's something that Ray can't exactly compete with. He can only offer what he has to offer. And I just wonder how if and when his insecurities would get the better of him. Oh, different topic. Victoria says, I'm glad Chloe lowered the boom on Chelsea today. She made it clear to Chelsea that she needs to get over her contention with Sally and her obsession with Adam. However, it surprised me. Where was this Chloe when Chelsea was setting her up for Ray's poisoning? Can you imagine? I mean, I guess in soap opera world we can, but Chelsea poisoning Ray and then going on to have a relationship with him, it's quite a thing to overcome. But yeah, I liked it too. Chloe has definitely been harping on Sally for a number of weeks now, and it was good to finally see her switch her view over to Chelsea. Like, look, you're going to have to work on fixing this too. Herman says, oh man, Adam is making the biggest mistake confiding in Sally. She will end up being a source of chaos and destruction. I would think he was smarter than this, but I think he's weakened by being on the outs with his father and having no other sounding board, like the shrink with the big heart. Hello, Sharon. I hope you are freed from Ray soon. Oh, so there are fans still seeing that path toward Adam and Sharon. But it's interesting, Herman, that you think it was a mistake for Adam to confide in Sally about everything that was going on behind the scenes. I was really surprised by that too. I don't know, mistake, I'm not sure. I thought it was good to see Adam feeling a camaraderie with someone. It was inappropriate. I mean, I don't think he should have shared that information with Sally, because I think Sally's going to let Chloe and Chelsea know that she knows, and that's just going to, I think Sally's going to try to kind of lord that information over Chelsea and Chloe, and I just think that's going to cause more friction. So was it a wise move by Adam? No, you're probably right, it was not. But at the same time, it was good seeing him have someone to confide in. Why couldn't that maybe be Sharon a little more often, though? Gary says, Adam has worked hard to please his father and has done nothing wrong. For Victor to now be dogging him after working so hard to court him into the loving fold highlights the machinations of Victor more clearly than I have ever processed before. Crazy making. Why in the world is Victor now trying to unravel what we had been led to believe was his heart's desire? Yeah, it's a good question, and I guess probably I'm so blinded just by loving the direction that the plot is going that I'm not fully processing what a deep betrayal it is between Victor and Adam. But there was also just a little touch of a space of a moment after Victor told Adam about the sale of the company, where Adam was saying, well, what's really going on here? And then it was kind of a cut to commercial, and then right back to Adam in his office, and we didn't see the end of that conversation. Maybe that's what made me think that perhaps Adam is in on whatever Victor's ultimate goal is. Maybe the reason that Adam will choose to take the job is because maybe he does realize that Ashland is the shared enemy here, and that if we remove him from the piece, we balance the scales a little bit more, and you never know, Adam could end up being the CEO of that company when all is said and done. But Herman says Victor Newman is one of my most hated soap characters. I know some people love to hate him, but I just hate him 95.5% of the time. He is incapable of having real love for his family, especially the way he treats his children. Worst of all, he has never and will never consider growing. In recent scenes, when Nick confronted him, he basically confirmed that he knows he's terrible and has no intentions of trying to be better by his children. Watching Victor scold Adam about that stupid Billy dumbness that Victoria turned into an issue really pissed me off, because Victor barely blinked an eye when Victoria takes in and marries con artist Ashland and joins the Newman company to Ashland's company that came from stolen inheritance. What Victoria has done jeopardizes the entire Newman Enterprises, including Newman Communications. I don't know how the show ignores this huge plot point and makes Victor look stupid, and it makes Victor look stupid and inept unless they are building some sort of story of him destroying Ashland without ever letting the truth out, because the truth coming out would destroy Newman Enterprises, and I just can't let go of this huge plot point that the show stubbornly continues to ignore. For me, this weakens the business stories tremendously. Oh, I had to get an anti-Victor comment in there for sure, because that's a perspective I tend to give Victor a little too much leeway, so I wanted to get some alternative perspective there. So Herman, that's a good comment. I guess so much of this, I just see Victor as the ultimate plot tool in a lot of the ways over the years, and so much of this I just feel like something happened at Y&R. Like, I don't know if they got some additional budgets or they got less budget or something, but it just feels on many different points that they are shifting direction on plots. Maybe it's pointing us toward a February sweeps moment. I mean, I don't know how it all works behind the scenes, but so much of this I just attribute to Y&R wanted to get all the players under this Newman Enterprises roof and then build up with this new Ashland Lock. It's quite serendipitous timing that they're recasting Ashland Lock right now, because that means they can really pick any direction they want to go when it comes to him. They can make him the hero, they can make him the enemy, but I think they're going to make Ashland Lock the enemy, and I think they needed to crush Newman Media in order to get Adam and Victor over there under that roof, and I guess that's the reason why I support it, less so about the dynamics of the relationship between father and son. Now, if Adam is in on it, does that change your opinion? Does that make Victor look a little more reasonable in all of this, I wonder? We also do have to remember that, as Nick reminded us, Adam has a choice to go along with this plan or not go along with this plan, whether he knows about it or not. But if he does know about it, it would explain why he's choosing to go to Newman Enterprises and be, Victoria's underling. That would be the only explanation that I could come up with. I think it would be fun to see Victor and Adam versus Victoria and Ashland. Here's a funny comment from Victoria, who asks, is Adam's spirit animal A hedgehog? I have noticed a black and gold prickly object on his desk. Could be a grouping of pens. Or is it his spirit animal in impressionistic form? That black and gold spiky thing on Adam's desk is very visually striking. Yeah, I've noticed that too, but I kind of like the idea that Adam's spirit animal could be a hedgehog. That really works on multiple levels. Adam is so darn good right now. Herman says Mark Grossman has really turned Adam into a very complex and intriguing character. A year ago, I despised the character because he was just too much in my face. But a year later, I find myself surprisingly rooting for him against many other characters. Victor, Victoria, Billy. I think that one of the few good things this writing has done over the past year is allow Adam to go through periods of self-examination and growth, and the actor has taken the opportunities to really show depth and layers of his emotional development. I am ready to see Adam get a bit harder in how he deals with foes, including his father and his sister. I will most certainly be rooting for him to get the upper hand on both of them. Yes, I couldn't agree more, Herman. I mean, for the Mark Grossman love and also being ready to see a little bit of a heavier hand out of Adam. Good points. Ellen says Adam has always been a complex character. He grew up helping his blind mother run a farm. He earned a Harvard business degree on his own merit. He has saved many more lives than he has accidentally damaged. He definitely gives in to dark temptations, but always in retaliation. The dialogue always leans into the evil Adam narrative, like he was born that way. It's simply not accurate. He's kind, loyal, a very good father, and puts up with an enormous amount of provocation on a daily basis from people like Billy. Now Victor is selling Newman Media to Victoria. I hope Adam makes his own business move like Nick did and leaves Victor and Victoria in the dust. Enough already. The evolution of Adam has been so stark and so, as Herman said, just it's changed and become so good over the past year with this version of Adam. And I just think that it is such a good opportunity now to springboard Adam into an all new place. I really think that what the writers have done with Adam, especially over the course of the past year, needs to be done with Billy now too. I saw a lot of comments this week of people being like, ugh, Billy, you know, why do you still bother? I mean, Billy is telling everyone that he's changed, he's reformed, he's no longer worried about Adam, and yet Billy seizes that very first opportunity to get in there and do his best to twist the knife. And I mean, the rivalry certainly, from Billy's perspective, has not gone away, but I really think that I'd love to see what the writers have done for Adam over the past year done with Billy now, too. I think there's a wonderful opportunity there to make Billy a very complex character, or the complex character that he is, to continue to highlight that and show us the evolution of Billy and let him stretch his wings in different ways as they've done with Adam. Daisy says Victor may have set the stage to get what he wanted all along. He gave Victoria free rein of his company and went along with Locke's misdeeds just so he could repurchase parts of the company that Victoria had sold. And as a bonus, Locke's company was added to the fold. Maybe Victor's plan is to get rid of Locke, return his company back to Newman Enterprises, fire Victoria, and make Adam his new CEO. Poor Victoria, she won't know what hit her. But then Billy will always be by her side, especially to help her after she realizes her husband played her, and her father knew it and used it against her. Yeah, I think it's possible that Adam could end up the CEO of Newman Enterprises at the end of this, which is exactly like the fun classic soap dynamic that I want. I want Adam and Victoria battling over control of Newman Enterprises. That is how it should be in my mind. So I think that's another reason why I really like this mix-up. But you're right that I think Victoria is going to be probably hurt at the end of this. I don't know if Victor's intention intention is to fire her. I don't think he wants to hurt her, but I think he's very well willing to challenge her, and I think he's very well willing to continue to exert that he's the one that actually has the power here. I think he's given Victoria a lot of leeway, but I think Victor is going to be all too happy to remind everyone in this situation who really wears the pants. Daisy also says Victoria's theme song after she loses her position and has to start all over again but doesn't know where to and how. For non-blondes, what's up? Yeah, first of all, I love that song, What's Up by Four Non-Blondes. And if you think about it, yeah, that could be a good theme song for where Victoria is at the end of all of this and how she kind of realizes what her situation is. That's a fun little nugget of information, Daisy, or a fun little thought. Well, Sue W. says, fantastic scene between Michael and Ashland. Ashland tried hard to play cool and give tit for tat, but Ashland should be afraid, be very afraid. Victor is circling the wagons. Great scene also in Victoria's office when Victor took a pointed, long stare at Victoria's portrait and then smirked and winked when leaving after their Newman Media tete-a-tete. Be afraid, Victoria. Be very afraid. Don't mess with the sacred Newman name and legacy, even if you are a Newman. Yeah, I liked that moment where Victor looked at the portrait, and I think that really says it all. It's, with a little bit of a wink. To me, Victor is saying, you're in charge for now. But be afraid, be very afraid. Well, let's switch over to Mariah and Tessa, because Sharon makes a really interesting point here by saying Tessa and Mariah got 2 proposals, and after both, they spend their time babysitting sulking Noah and his man pain. They have not had a love scene in 2 years. These are women in their 20s and early 30s, prime of life. This would not happen to a straight couple. Billy and Lily love them. They go at it like rabbits, and now Chance and Abby are at it, as well as Devon and Amanda. Tessa and Mariah have already been living together for 4 years, so that's why I say this engagement means nothing to me, at least. I think this is an interesting point. Do Mariah and Tessa not get the sex scenes or the physical intimacy that other couples on the show get? Herman says they are as sexless as Ray and Sharon. Why let them stay together if they give us nothing? Personally, both couples bore me, and they're wasting the talents of the actresses that play Sharon and Mariah in these dull pairings. Oh, that's interesting. And Sue W. says, agreed. Tessa and Mariah have never had a sex-driven scene like all other couples in Genoa City, except maybe Victoria and Ashland. They're robots anyway. That's funny, because Victoria and Ashland did get the sex scene this week. Sue W. says also, Taraya gives all the adult romance tells. Hugs, kisses, dreamy gazes, shared beds, states of undress, occasional innuendos, and done. It's glaringly obvious that the show stops short of showing anything physical, getting lusty and racy between the 2 gals. I think you're right that it's because they're a same-sex couple. I thought Mariah and Tessa didn't they have a sex scene or something in their hotel room right after right after something. Maybe it was when Tessa got back from Tuscany, or maybe you're right and it wasn't a sex scene. I mean, it certainly wasn't lusty. They may have had some intimacy, but it certainly wasn't lusty. I mean, there's no sulfate sex for Tessa and Mariah, that's for sure. And that's an interesting point that even Victoria and Ashland had sulfate sex this week, and Mariah and Tessa don't get it. Are we ever going to see their apartment? I mean, even just thinking about it too, that little apartment doesn't seem to fit them. I feel like maybe Mariah and Tessa need to buy the penthouse. Aren't they more successful? Maybe Mariah needs to run the coffee shop and then they rehab the upstairs and make it bigger or something. I don't know. I think it's an interesting point that's being raised here, because it's sort of indicative of the way these writers are handling a lot of the stories right now. It seems like these guys like to toe the line. I mean, they're dealing with an audience that is very diverse, and everybody wants to see something something different. And I think in trying to make everybody happy, they're making no one happy. And I think, again, as I said last week, that is very well represented in Dominic's name. I mean, they're just trying to make everybody happy, give this baby, and we'll just say it's everybody's, and we'll just throw everything at the wall. And at the end of the day, I don't think they have a very clear, strong vision. I think they are waffling in the wind just to try to make everybody happy, and it's not working. Sherrod says, if Tessa was not sure about how Noah was feeling about her before, she most definitely knows now. I know that she feels happy to be part of a family, but she needs to tell Mariah what she knows is going on with Noah and that he may have feelings for her. Even though when he first left town, he said he was done with her and called her a user. And when he came back for Sharon and Nick's non-wedding, he told Mariah that he was over her. Funny that. Astra says, okay, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who thinks Noah's deep feelings for Tessa, like they dated for years, is a rewrite of history. I didn't think their relationship was that deep. He liked her, she liked him. They dated for some months before Mariah and Tessa started having feelings for each other. And most of Tessa and Noah's relationship was about her hiding her feelings for Mariah. It just doesn't make sense. And Sue W. responds, to me, the having no logical basis for Noah's deep feelings isn't necessarily a rewrite, but maybe an indication of a deepening mental disorder, which has him misconstruing both past and present realities. At least, I'd rather have that story, especially if Noah could start unleashing some or any dramatic reactions. Go bananas, sleepy Noah. I think I would probably, I don't see the madman Noah that you guys are seeing. I don't see bananas Noah. I'm not seeing it yet. I think it's potential if has potential if the writers decide to go there, but I'm not seeing any overt, obvious, like everybody calls him creepy Noah at this point. I'm not seeing the creep. I think it has potential to go creep if Y&R chooses that for plots, but he doesn't come off as creepy to me. He comes off as mopey to me, and it's with that I think it is more of a rewrite. I think Y&R's just deciding that Noah had these deep feelings for Tessa, which are, deeper than, we really experienced as viewers. Or maybe some people did. I don't know. I mean, Noah and Tessa didn't have, some really long, amazing romance that the viewers were, all over, the majority of them anyway. So to me, I think it is Y&R kind of bringing this up for story. But to me, he just looks like Mopey. He just looks like Mopey Dude, the Mopey Dudes Club. Wants what he can't have, is feeling looking longingly back at his past, and maybe wishing he would have made some other decisions, maybe wishing he could have gone a different path. GC Buzz says, I'm just try to imagine Noah and Chance meeting at Crimson Lights for a coffee and a chat. How many shots of espresso will each guy need to wake him up so he isn't mopey and dreary and lifeless? How many chocolate croissants or lemon bars will each guy need to eat so that he has enough sugar in him to give him some energy and put a smile on his face? I was pleased with Noah's at least having some sort of emotional reaction on, Thursday's show when he was a little bit drunk. I was sort of glad he was a little bit buzzed, because then we got a little bit of a something out of him. I think otherwise you're mostly right. These guys need a coffee or a sugary pastry to wake them up. Noah and Chance. Well, Victoria says it's so obvious that Chance needs counseling. I've mentioned this before, but they are beating us over the head with this fact. Ashley needs to hurry to Genoa City with Nina and get Chance the help he needs. He will not the only one who can see he needs it. He's not the only one who sees he needs it. He's the only one, maybe you mean, that can see he needs it. Yeah, I just don't even think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to get him counseling. I wonder if the letter was meant to bring him closure. They're not going to go through the process of showing Chance in counseling after they've already gotten the plot where they wanted it to go. I just think that the letter was maybe Chance's way of kind of moving on. I mean, he was all about that sex. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to scream when Abby is thinking about their son being at Devon's, worried about being away from her child for the first time overnight, wondering about what her future's gonna look like. What mess did she just get herself into? And Chance is all like shirtless, like, let me give you a back rub. I would be like, don't touch me. I just kept thinking, don't get your hands off of me, Chance. She almost did have points where she seemed like her skin was ready to crawl, and Chance seemed so oblivious of it all. He's so happy and just kind of like, oh, we did the right thing, and maybe they did, I don't know, but I'm feeling Abby in this situation, and it's probably mostly because it's been Abby's journey since before the beginning. Devon has come and gone, Mariah has come and gone, Chance has come and gone, but it's been Abby's journey from the beginning, and it's hard to turn off what her connection is and seeing things from her perspective. But oh goodness, Daisy says Chance doesn't seem to care that his son is not home. Even though he keeps trying to comfort Abby, Chance is the one who pushed Abby into giving Devon a role as a parent rather than get help and fight for his son. I can't see them staying together. Abby will end up resentful of Chance for not thinking of their family first, and the change in her son's life might just push Abby into Devon's arms. Yep, I think you're right. I think you're right that we could be moving toward Abby and Chance breaking up and Abby getting closer with Devon. T. Nicole says it's interesting that Devon got opinions from his family about wanting custody of Dominic, but we didn't see Abby and Chance talk to any of their family about the situation before making a decision. Where was Victor, Ashley, and Nina, to name a few, to weigh in? That is so darn true. They made this decision so quickly without talking to anyone. Ellen says the Newmans and the Abbotts totally AWOL. Abby is without any family support, and her supposed great friend Devon is the one undermining her marriage and family. We will see if Devon will be happy with one night per week for long. I doubt it. That's true. It's one night a week right now, but how long will it be before Devon wants more? He's calling himself Dad. It's and they're okay with it. This is the accepted. They've decided, I guess, that Devon's dad too. Dominic can call both Devon and Chance Dad. And Devon wants more than one day a week. We know it. So this is just a stepping stone. Dad is more than one day a week. The term dad, the dadness of it all, certainly supersedes one day a week. It's all the time. It's every time. Dad doesn't go away ever. Oh, yeah, I think what they agreed to is bigger than what they realized. But last week, I asked anyone who thought that Abby and Chance made the right decision to come weigh in, and Sharita did that for me. So here we go. Let's get Sharita's perspective. I think Devon was right to fight for his son. Truthfully, I think he was remiss to give up his parental rights in the first place. I do think he was sincere in being concerned with Chance's ability to parent Dominic right now, but I also think he became jealous by not being recognized as Dominic's father, since Chance is now alive and in the picture. I do feel it's different than Mariah's attachment because she's not biologically connected to Dominic. Oh, pause. Even Mariah said that this week. Continuing on, DNA and lifestyle-wise, Dominic is Devon's son. Perhaps had Devon not lost his baby with Hillary, he might have been able to just play an uncle or a godparent role with the baby. But the actuality of Dominic's birth, Abby calling on Devon at all hours of the day and night as if he were the dad, even before she left Dominic with Devon before chasing down Chance in Spain, truly illustrates that she sees Devon as Dominic's other father. I really don't think any one person is at fault here. It's a very gray and messy situation. I do think that Amanda should just be a girlfriend, not an attorney in this situation, because she is putting a lot of her foster child drama into this whole already complicated situation. I do hope they can get back to truly being friends and family like they said. And in the end, I don't think any real damage is done by acknowledging Devon as Dominic's dad. If Abby thinks about it for a moment, she'll realize how similar of a situation it will be to her relationship with her adopted dad, Brad, and her bio dad, Victor. I do hope Devon and Amanda eventually start their own family, because I could see Devon wanting to be a full-time dad. Yeah, Sharita, that's good. That's also good, because I can see Devon wanting to be a full-time dad too, and he is going to, and that kind of goes into what we were talking about previously. But yeah, you brought up this the connection that Abby feels with Brad being no less than the connection she feels with her biological father, Victor. That's such a good point, and Y&R brought that up. Actually, it was Chance that brought that up on Monday's show, I think it was. So yeah, I mean, you're saying I don't think any real damage is done by acknowledging Devon as Dominic's dad. But then again, it's like, well, it's more than that. It's not just acknowledging Devon as Dominic's dad. It's also giving over the parental rights. I mean, that's sort of a different issue too. I have to say, I feel like it, for me, does hinge on what Devon agreed to. I know that it's a difficult situation, and certainly I don't feel in denial that Devon is biologically Dominic's dad. I just wish he would have taken Amanda's advice at the time and thought a little harder about it all before he signed the contracts over. There's no indication that Devon didn't know what he was doing, when he signed the documents. I mean, I guess he thought he knew what he was doing logically, only to find out that he felt a different way emotionally. But I mean, that really doesn't do a whole lot of good for Abby and Chance, who were, especially Abby, getting ready to plan her future and her family the way that she envisioned it. And now, you're right, it doesn't really do any harm to acknowledge any of it. It seems mostly that it's Abby who is feeling the harm, and maybe she will be able to get past that, or maybe not. I mean, this could be the thing that breaks up her marriage. Jana, on the other side of this, says everyone on Devon's side of this keeps referring to Devon as father or daddy, including Devon himself. Was this in the paperwork? Because it's my understanding that shared custody alone does not automatically make someone a father or a mother, a parent or a guardian, for sure. But regardless, Abby, Chance, and Devon need to sit down and decide how which man is going to be called in front of Dominic. Yeah, that was such, Jana, a stark moment of realization for Abby. I think in that moment, that's where she realized what she had just agreed to. She had just agreed to two dads without, I think, maybe really processing that, because this is a fantastic point. I mean, Abby and Chance agreed to guardianship. They didn't agree to the calling of Devon daddy. I mean, that's something that, it's just too bad that it wasn't talked about beforehand, because it's not untrue. It's not untrue. Devon is Dominic's father, but it's something that they should have probably really peeled apart before they went into this. It's just another function of jumping into it without thinking. I think they jumped into the sperm donation and all of that a little too quickly without really peeling it apart, without really thinking, wasn't there a seminar or something that Abby could have gone to? $500 for the day, no big deal. Go to the seminar, discuss and think about your options for surrogacy and sperm donation. Maybe she wouldn't be in this mess right now. But it's the same quick hand that she got herself into this with, that now she's signed it away with the same quick hand, and now probably feeling the consequences of that. Victoria says, Devon needs to go to a baby class 101. Most parents know that putting a baby down in a high traffic area would not be the greatest idea. Of course, people are going to interrupt his sleep, especially when he's particularly fussy. Devon, wake up. You don't know everything. Yeah, it's ridiculous that he was so concerned about everybody waking up the baby when he has him plopped into the middle of the living room. And Naomi says, I guess even billionaires use a pack and play in the living room for a visiting baby. Yeah, the pack and play. I know. And then he took Devon, and then he took the baby up the stairs to go to bed later. Why didn't he do that in the first place? Oh, here we go. T. Nicole says, I wonder if there will be a conflict of Devon wanting to make Amanda a mother role in Dominic's life and cause more tension with Abby. If Abby and Chance's marriage falls apart, then Abby will push herself more in Devon's orbit, pushing Amanda out of her child's life. Abby, starting to resent Chance for pushing her to agree to Devon's wishes, starts now. Oh, yeah. I mean, will there be a conflict between Abby and Amanda? That could be on the horizon for all of this, too. What is Amanda's role now? What will Amanda's role be? Another thing that just hasn't been discussed before this decision was made. Gary says, Dom's spiritual mother, Amanda Sinclair, needs to conduct her law practice from her own Victorian executive office and not in the center of the Grand Phoenix Hotel, where everyone is free to eavesdrop on her client's business. The blonde woman on Monday would have been better served as an extra at Society or seen in the background of the hotel walking from point A to point B to use the restroom. Filler desperately needed. Yeah, I can't believe Amanda has this new office that we've been promised, and she's still doing business in the middle of the Grand Phoenix Hotel. We also have Nick and Noah doing business at Crimson Lights, and Chelsea, Chloe, and Sally doing endless business meetings at Society. I mean, Billy and Lily are the only ones who have an office but have no employees. There's a real lack of space around here in Genoa City. Maybe it's time to go virtual. Gary says, once again, it's time for the annual Kate Linder Tea Party. Tisk tisk. Yes, I saw this in Y&R News for the week. Kate Linder hosts her annual tea party, and I saw this year that it's going to be a virtual tea party. So how exactly does that work? Is it BYOT? Bring your own tea? I always have a hot tea sitting beside me for my Y&R chat to soothe my throat. But today I made it so hot I couldn't drink it. I accidentally made it way too hot. Couldn't drink it, so my throat has been raspy the whole Y&R chat. But yeah, I appreciate. I would like to have had my own little tea party here. I could even show you, I suppose, that my tea actually does have steam coming up out of the bottle to prove that it is actually real tea. Oh goodness. Well, gee, there's a lot to talk about. What's your favorite story going on right now? What's your least favorite story going on right now? I think you should go to yrchat.com to leave me some really cool, awesome, thoughtful comments, as you always seem to do. I'm so impressed with the caliber of our comments lately. You guys are doing great. I hope you keep it up. And I'll keep doing my little thing over here. Hopefully it will suffice. Until we meet again next Sunday. I love you guys. I hope you have a really good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.